Morning, guys. This is Richard Guerrero over here at Warrior Mortgage Team. I am here with top agent Eric Azua out of Keller Williams.
Hey, everybody. Nice to see you guys. Hope you guys can hit me up sometime. I'd love to be your realtor.
And we're talking this morning because I think we wanted to reflect a little bit on our latest success, really drive home the fact that this is tangible for a lot of clients, a lot of people who are on the fence in real estate. I'm sure you've seen it on the news. Now's a good time to buy. Now's not a good time to buy. Interest rates, et cetera. From an expert, is now a good time to purchase real estate, you think?
Yeah, real estate now is always the best time to buy. Why? Because real estate is very forgiving. So whether you think you bought the home at a higher price or maybe it's at a high interest rate, it doesn't matter. It's very forgiving. So even if you had the worst deal in the world, eventually that worst deal is going to work out compared to just being a renter for the next 25 to 30 years. So today's always a good time. And hey, what if the prices are high? Well, guess what? The rates are high too. That gives us power as a buyer's agent to negotiate with that listing agent and the sellers to try to get you some closing costs or try to get a rate buy down. So it's always a good time to buy. It doesn't matter the market.
Yeah, and you kind of hit the nail on the head with the buyer's negotiation power. We've had a lot of success here lately on our latest deals. We closed one out, I think, last week, right? You want to tell us about that?
Yeah. So this deal, it was a referral deal from California. The referring agent apparently had the buyer pre-approved with a national lender. I remember calling the lender several times when I first took on this client, and I said, "Hey, can you close this buyer? Are you 100% for sure?" And they told me on 3 separate occasions that they had checked everything. Buyer was good to go. And I said, "Are you guys for sure?" Because I got him under contract on a brand new construction that hadn't been built yet. And with this particular construction, it was a non-refundable builder deposit that the buyer had to give up, which was somewhere in the area of $21,000. So I remember calling that national lender several times to say, "Hey, you guys 100% for sure that you can close this deal with this buyer?" All 3 times they said, "Yes, we've checked everything. He's good to go." Well, here we are 2 weeks before closing, and the national lender calls me and says, "We can't close the deal. Sorry." And that's all I ever got. Not even a good, thorough apology. Just bye, have a nice day. And I remember telling him, you do understand he has $21,000 he's about to lose, and they didn't care. And so that's when I called Richard up. I said, "Hey, man, can you jump in there and save this deal?" Which you did, got it done, closed him out, and buyer's super ecstatic, happy. And his house actually ended up being worth a whole lot more than what he paid for it, which was really good deal for him. So sometimes you got to change lenders and just don't take a no. Go get some other lender that'll give you a yes. So.
Yeah, there's always a silver lining, man. And I'm always appreciative to help your clients. This particular time when I spoke to him, I remember we spoke at like 7:45 at night that day, and he was understandably very, very, very stressed out. I don't have $21,000 in my pocket. Yeah. And having the possibility of losing that, it's not at that point. Yeah, he understands the value of the house, but man, I may never get this money back. And I think where you and I both connect is that it's more than just a transaction, right? It's more than just this person that wants to get a house. What did he do to save that $21,000?
It took him a long time to save that money. So it was a lot of hard work, a lot of effort put into that savings account. And so for him to lose it just because a lender says, "Yeah, you know what, we can't do it, sorry." To me, that seemed a little low class, and probably never use them again.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is it was a workable deal, and it was a very, very closable deal. We had to jump through some hoops, like most loans you have to do. But in the end, we got a very, very happy client. We got a very, very happy transaction overall. And I mean, now this client who at first thought he was going to lose, a large majority of his life savings, he is going to have that appreciating real estate. And man, it's we love happy endings like that. We really, really do. What about, so we've had recent closings here. We've ran into some things before where, let's say that the client likes the house, right? Client loves the house, checks all the boxes. That monthly payment doesn't make sense. how were we able to get across that, you think?
Yeah, so I hear that a lot. The monthly payment's just a little too high, and so I've become an expert in the 2-1 buy down, which I'm assuming a lot of other agents have done as well. I mean, yes, it's high, but compared to renting and building equity, I would take the building equity side every single time, no matter what. So the way I pitch it to people is, hey, a mortgage is like a savings account. So if you think saving $2,000 a month is a bad idea, then maybe I can't help you.
Yeah.
But if you see the value in saving that $2,000 to $3,000 a month, then that's the way you got to look at it. You know, paying that mortgage payment, you're building equity, you're putting money into an account that one day you can cash out from it, whether it be maybe a HELOC, or maybe you just sell the home and you take all that profit. So I would always say, don't look at it as a payment, look at it as, you know, a savings account.
Yeah, and our clients really had to get that, right? Because they were first-time home buyers. I think when they connected with us, they initially they were interested in another house than different than the one we got them in, right?
That's right. So we did make an offer on another house. It was a flip house. It was beautiful. And we got turned down. We got outbid by somebody else. And, you know, the buyers, they kind of got, you know, freaked out about that. But I'm like, don't worry.
A little discouraged.
I got you. You know, we can always try to turn a no into a yes.
Yeah.
So where there's a roadblock, we're going to overcome that roadblock. And so the very next day, I found them a brand new house. It was just a little bit more money, but it was brand spanking new. And it was a designer home, like custom built. Beautiful home, 2-story house, 2,400 square foot, in the heart of Chattanooga, close to everything.
Checks all the boxes.
I was able to negotiate for them. Got them like $12,000 in closing costs, which is kind of unheard of in Chattanooga. Usually they don't want to give you any closing costs at all. So I got them $12K. So they were really happy.
Yeah, and I mean, that is something powerful. That is something that really does bear repeating, because it's not just about, hey, am I qualified or not? It's about, what are my parameters? And this is where Eric and I work really well together, because at first, from the lending department, I established your goals. Hey, where are you at monthly? Where are you at out of pocket for your down payments? What's important to you? And based off of that, we've had a lot of success in me communicating the game plan for the buyers, and then you executing, and stuff that buyers say, hey, I don't know if I can get $12,000 in closing costs. Nah, I just need to get with Eric.
Yeah. So in that story, we used the $12,000 to buy down the rate mostly. I think that's the way that one went. And so they got their payment to where they felt comfortable. Matter of fact, it was close to what they were paying in rent.
Oh, yeah.
So some people don't look at it that way. Did you know that you could probably get the same payment as what you're paying now, or close to it? You just got to know how to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we have first-time home buyers who have had a very positive experience. And that's really what it's about, right? Because the first-time home buyers, they have a negative experience with the lending department, with the real estate department. They don't get that value. Then all of a sudden they get turned off, and who knows when they will purchase another home again. And that is, I think, really important to be good stewards of that. You and I have done a great job of making sure that clients see the value of it, because otherwise, I mean, here's the it's a silver lining in the unfortunate part. In this area, we're still pretty affordable, wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, very affordable compared to other markets in the country. So, and on top of that, affordability, and just having a realtor with a reputation and a lender with a reputation that's a good reputation, by the way. Got to have a good reputation. That goes a long way. So sometimes there's listing agents that'll take an offer just because they know that the buying agent has done their homework and they know what they're doing and they're professional, and they might talk their seller into giving you a little more closing costs because they know it's gonna close. So it goes a long way. Yeah,
it's about reputation. It's about the solidity of your word, and that's really what. There's lots of aspects of the industry that I like, but the fact is, you can choose who you want to work with, and it's best to choose somebody who has that solid reputation, can see, hey, you know what? I've done this before for other clients. I can do it for you. Now, not every deal is rosy, right? Not every deal is as from 0 to 25 days we're closing. We've had to get in the trenches a little bit, right?
Yeah, there's deals that take sometimes 90 days, sometimes just because there's issues with underwriting, or just maybe the buyer's documentation isn't in order like it should be. But we work through that stuff. We've had to get tax preparers involved at the last minute, and just other things like that, but we closed them. And so I think that that's where that good reputation comes into play, because we know what we're doing. And if we don't know, we're going to figure it out, but we're not going to let a deal die just because we run into a hurdle.
Yeah, everything is figure outable. And so out of our recent closings that we've had, we had one where it did take longer than those 30 days. And we really had to, both myself and you, we had to make sure that we protected our client, made sure that our client knew their rights, and we were pushing all for that. And I remember on multiple times, I think our colleagues told both of us, hey, this ain't going to close.
Yeah. Even the buyer kind of was like, hey, we're going to close or not. So it just takes time sometimes. I believe that was a tax ID deal.
Yeah.
Got it done. Got the buyer $18,000 in closing costs, which is unheard of again in Chattanooga. You're probably not going to get that much. Well, you will if you got the right person working for you. So you just got to get in touch with somebody. And if you don't know who to get in touch with, well, you can call one of us.
Yeah, hey, we're right here. Number's going to be right here at the bottom, so you can contact both of us. But man, what was special about that closing, and really all closings, is this gentleman thought that he was just never going to purchase a home. Even when we were going through the underwriting process and it got a little bumpy, and we told him, hey, we got you.
Yeah, I remember that. So and now they're homeowners.
Yeah.
And so it's good to hear these success stories, and I think it's good for the public to hear them as well. So what does it take to become a homeowner? Well, just get in touch with a professional. Let's start right there.
Yeah.
Let's get you on the path to success. And usually that's going to start with the lending side. They got to talk to a lender, see what kind of programs is out there for them, what's going to fit the bill, what's the best for them and their family. And maybe they're not ready today, but they might be ready in 3 to 6 months. And, we can help them get there in 3 to 6 months.
Absolutely. I think, in my opinion, it's never a no. It's let's see what needs to happen, because it just makes sense. There's no way that it doesn't make sense as far as purchasing a home. I'm of the opinion. So this is what I think, Eric. Something's got to give. So it's either going to be interest rates or it's going to be home prices.
Yes.
I don't think home prices are going to give.
I don't think so either. No, home prices are staying up because there's not enough inventory. And then you still got a lot of cash buyers still floating around out there from the COVID time. So because of that, they're going to continue to buy homes for cash and that are overpriced. That keeps the home values up high.
Yeah.
And so until there's a flood of homes on the market that are not selling, that's the only way that those home prices are coming down. And for now, in our market, there's not enough inventory to go around. So prices are going to stay high. They might sit a little longer. They might take longer to sell, but they're still going to sell for top dollar. So the benefit here is towards the buyer. Even though it's still a high price listing, you can go and negotiate for some closing costs and buy the rate down to get your payment to where you feel comfortable.
So that's all well and good, but what if somebody says, you know what, that's fine. I can wrap my head around speaking with a lender. I don't know why I need to work with an agent. Can't I just call the person who wants the house and just make an offer?
Yeah, you could. It might not be the best thing for you. So I hear this all the time. I see people talk about it on the internet. You don't need an agent. You don't need an agent. There might be some cases where you can get away with that. But then there's going to be other times where you hear a horror story where somebody did not use an agent, whether that be a listing side or a buying side, whichever way it might go. I've heard horror stories both ways. So agents are there to look out for your best interest.
Yeah.
And so when I'm representing a buyer, that's exactly what I do. I'm a second set of eyes on everything that they go to see. Whichever home they tour, I'm always going to try to see if there's something wrong with it using my set of eyes. And then obviously if we go under contract, we're going to get that inspection done to make sure that that home is, a good home.
Yeah.
Don't want to give them don't want to lead them into buying something that's going to give them problems, 6 months down the road. So that's where our value comes into play. And then on side note, we know where a lot of off-market properties are. Yeah. I know what's coming up. I kind of know what new construction's coming up. So a lot of people, they'll call me just for that. Hey, do you got something coming up? Do you know of a new subdivision that they're building? And usually I do. Yeah. And because I got that knowledge, people call me. So I would say always use an agent, no matter what, use an agent.
Yeah. And yourself, where do you specialize? What areas would you say that you are best set up in to help?
I do a lot of new construction.
Yeah.
Lots of new construction. So but I do use sales too, but in the area that I live in, there's a lot of new construction. And the reason is because there's not enough inventory. So builders are just going to have to get out there and build inventory. And that's why we do so much new construction in the town that I live in.
That's coming. That's a demand. And are you seeing? You operate where in Dalton and in Chattanooga?
Yeah, Dalton and Chattanooga, and so Tennessee, Georgia, anywhere in any one of those states. Don't matter where, I can serve there.
Yeah, Eric's a road warrior. He'll go.
I'll drive.
Yeah. If there's a client that needs service, he's going to get there.
Yeah, I'll drive for dollars. Definitely.
Absolutely. So, and you're not a one-man show, are you?
No, we got a team. I have 5 agents with me, but we have a total of 20 agents at our office. And so if I can't go, I'll send somebody else to go take my place. Yeah. And so you're always going to be served well.
Yeah, you got your lovely wife as well.
Yeah, I got my wife. She works with me too. She actually has a Florida license to throw in there.
There you go.
You want to go to Miami and buy $1 million house? Call us up.
Got them all. Absolutely. And really, we talk about this a lot. We work hard. We make sure that our clients get taken care of as well, because it's the stability, right? That's what the home offers.
That's exactly right. So most people call me because they know I won't lie to them.
Yeah.
They know you come with me. I'll tell you if that's a good house or not. Like, we're going to walk it. I know what to look for. And they usually ask me my opinion, like, what do I think of it? And I'll point out stuff to them if I see there's something wrong with it. And there's sometimes when I just tell them, you should probably walk away.
Yeah.
You should probably walk away from this house.
Have you had instances where a client sees a house, they love it, this is the perfect house, and then your eyes, you see something and you're like, hey.
It's all the time. Yeah. It's all the time, because they'll see pictures on the internet like, oh God, this looks like a lovely house. And then we'll go see it. They like it. They almost love it. And I'm like, I still got to let you know the truth. The truth will set you free. So if I see, for example, if it's got a horrible roof that needs to be replaced, I'll tell them that. It's like, just letting you know, this roof, probably it needs to be replaced. Yeah. So, stuff like that. Or if it has septic tank issues, drainage issues from the water, that's probably one of the number one things that people don't look at. Where does your water flow to? It's a big deal. If you get water up in your crawl space and it causes humidity, like, it can weaken all kind of subfloors, cause mold and other things like that. And that's stuff that you want to be cautious of. There's ways to fix it, but how much is it going to cost to fix it? So, just stuff like that. We're going to look at it, the age of the home. Does it have termite damage, for example, stuff like that. So I always try to coach them to buy the best thing for them and their family. And then sometimes if I can't coach them out of it and they still just want to buy the house, okay, fine. Yeah. You go ahead and submit an offer and we'll get you rolling. But I try to counsel people to buy the best thing for them and their family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
So a lot of people think that after the transaction's over, after you close on the home, that's the last time they can talk to Eric Azua.
Oh, no, they can call me any day, any time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why I do that. So many years ago, I was young, didn't have anybody to counsel me or coach me. So we ended up buying a mobile home. This was years and years ago, back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking to a realtor back then, and he tried to talk us into buying a brand new house, 2-story house. And I remember him pitching it to me. It's like, hey, you could probably buy this 2-story house for about the same money as you're going to spend on that mobile home. And in my mind, I thought, there's no way. The mobile home is like $88,000. Yeah. And back then, the 2-story house, I believe, was like $124,000. And so I thought, no, the house costs more. That's not the best deal for me. So we walked away from that. Well, that was a bad decision.
Yeah.
Should have took the house, because the house appreciated in value over the years. Like, that same house today, it's probably got about $140 in equity had I would, taken advantage of it.
It's the power of real estate.
I didn't. Went ahead and bought the mobile home at like a higher interest rate, which I didn't know that. They got different rates, on different products. So that one had a higher rate. The insurance on it was higher as well. I did not know that. I know it now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it back then. So literally that agent, he was right. I could have got that nicer home, even though the price cost more, but my monthly payment would have been about the same, because the rate was cheaper and the insurance and taxes, they would have been a little cheaper as well.
Yeah, the math, you didn't have enough knowledge to work out the math and see it. And also something that trailer versus that mobile home versus that house, that equity, that appreciation, it's not the same.
No, it's not. No, I mean, trailers are going up in value a little, but they're never going to compare to what a stick-built house is going to go for in appreciation values. Yeah. So, and they're also a lot easier to sell.
Yeah.
Stick built house, way easier to sell. Now, you can get financing on mobile homes. There's a variety of ways to get loans on them, but still, if it was me, I'm going to go with the stick built.
Yeah.
Every day.
Well, you touched on it. We've helped some clients too here recently who have purchased their first home,
Yes.
lived in it for a little bit, and have built some equity, and they want to go ahead and upgrade. Is that a good idea in your eyes?
Yes. So, I've been in real estate for about 3.5 years, and I can promise you, I went back and done the numbers on everyone that I sold homes to. All of them are sitting pretty.
Yeah.
All of them have bought homes to where if they wanted to move today, 2 years later, they can sell that home and still cash out profit. Like all of them are gonna profit. So I can only think of maybe 2 deals where they were just stuck on getting a certain home. And even though I coached them to try to get the better option, they wanted to take the lesser. And I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
You sell them what they want at that point. But most of my clients, they send me referrals because they know I'm going to put them on something that's going to lead them to success.
Absolutely. And the powerful part about it is some of our clients, they don't even want to sell that property. They just want to keep it and rent it out.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take advantage of that, retain that property, make a little bit of profit while it's still appreciating, then purchase a new home.
Yes.
Keep it going. And they're doing all that. This is the powerful part. This is why I love real estate. They're doing all that and they haven't quit their 9 to 5.
Yes.
They're still just saving, doing the same good money habits that got them into that first home, still working that 9 to 5. They're not going all crazy real estate investor, buying a Tesla, doing all that. They are keeping within their means, and that is getting them that second home. And if that's not powerful, I don't know what is.
Yeah. So that's called passive income. So basically you want to get multiple units underneath your belt over the years. So we do a lot of that too. I do sell a lot of apartments. So I have the first time investors, they'll come and say, hey, I want to be an investor. Well, I got the right product for you. It's a duplex.
Yeah.
It's a perfect place for somebody to start out. You rent one side, you live on the other side. A couple years goes by, you go rinse and repeat. Do it all over again. Basically get another duplex and so on and so forth. So
you can get a triplex, quadplex.
Yes. Yeah, it can go on up into the 5plexes, 20plexes, whatever it might be. So, but you got to start somewhere. Start today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the house hacking. And I mean, anyone that can do duplexes. I'm very passionate about duplexes. We have one under contract right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're hoping to get more. If it makes sense, if you can do it duplex wise for your family, if that is within your lifestyle means, it's a no-brainer, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So invest, especially if you're young. If you're young, you want to start out investing, go for it. I mean, you're just going to retire rich, rich and wealthy.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Eric, so you work with a lot of buyers as well, but you're multifaceted. You work with sellers too, right?
Yeah, I work with a lot of sellers. So I got tons of seller stories. I have sellers call me up a lot and they ask me what their home is worth. And I'll tell them. I'll run a CMA, which is like a market analysis for them to understand what the market's saying it's worth. And then sometimes they'll ask me, can we get a little more for it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe you can. So, it's a kind of a gray area because you want to try to base the value of a home off of previous sales. Mm-hmm. That's normally the way that goes. However, because of COVID, there's still cash buyers out there that are looking for homes. So I do have experiences where we overpriced a home and the seller got 100% of what they were gonna, try to list it for overpriced.
Boom.
And so I know of some instances where sellers were told by brokerages, like listing agents, that there's no way that they could sell that home, for X amount of dollars. As a matter of fact, they were told they would not even list it if they were going to overprice it. And then they called me up and they said, I was told that I couldn't even list it for what I think it could be sold for. And they call me up, I'll do the CMA, and then I'll tell them this is what it's probably worth, but this is theoretically something that you could get for it, maybe. Let's try it.
Yeah.
And we've put them out on the market. I have one right now that it took 4 months to get under contract, but it got under contract for 100% of the asking price.
Beautiful.
And so,
the right buyer.
Yeah, we have out-of-state buyers that are coming into North Georgia. Some of them have cash money, and they don't mind to pay that overpriced, listing price, because to them, in their eyes, if you compare the price of that home in North Georgia to what they would have to pay, for example, in Miami or in New York for that same type house, to them it seems like an amazing deal, and they'll whip out their checkbook and pay cash for it. So that's why you have to give that opportunity to the sellers. And then if 6 months goes by and we don't have an offer on it, then okay, at that point, maybe it's time to go ahead and start, toning it back down to reality. But you got to give them a shot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, you highlight on that. We have a lot of out-of-state buyers coming in.
Yes.
And they're seeing this value from immediate. And from a buyer standpoint, you can either cry about that and get left behind, or you can realize it's a moving train.
Yes, catch up with the times. Yes,
you got to get in where you can afford it, or else you're just going to be renting.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So you've got a couple listings active right now.
I do. I've got one, and it's got like 7 or 8 showings on it. A couple of offers already came in, and it's at the price that the seller wanted. So, and that's the same seller that they were told that they would not let them list it for the price that they wanted. And with me, I've already got them a couple of offers. So. Full price offers too.
Yeah. So y'all heard it. It's not just buying, it's selling.
Yes.
Eric Azua will do it all.
I get it done.
Yeah. You get it done. When I first met you, you were leading a talk.
Yes.
And I know you've heard this story because it's what stuck out in my mind, and it says, okay, for me in my head, I'm like, I want to work with this guy. You had a shirt on that said, "Do it right now."
Yeah, I remember that. I still got those shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the "do it right now" phrase, I kind of came out with that last year. And it means 2 things. I want you to do it right now, and I want you to do it right.
Yeah.
And I want you to do it right, and I want you to do it now.
Yeah.
So there's two teachings there.
Yeah,
so
double meaning in there.
I try to teach my agents to do things right and do it right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Because, real estate moves at the speed of light, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So you got to do it right. You got to do it right now.
You got to do it right now.
Absolutely.
Exactly right.
That's the attitude. That's the attitude. Yeah. That's the attitude that gets people good value. That's the attitude that gets clients into closable deals where it makes sense. Not someone that drags their feet, not someone that says, I'm going to guess about it. It's about precision.
That's right. Yeah. And that's what I represent.
Yeah.
So I like to hustle and I like to get after it, and I do it right now.
Do it right now.
You call me, you'll get results.
Boom. Boom. Beautiful. Well, man, this was very informative. I always enjoy catching up with you, talking with you, and man, just feeding off that energy, because we both want to help people.
Yes.
That's, I think, the primary portion of my mission statement, and that's why it makes sense to partner up with you, because you care about the client more than anything.
I do. I want them to be successful. The reason I do that is going back to that story from my younger years. I didn't have nobody to ask questions like, what's the best thing here in this situation for me? And I never push a sell on anybody. You come to work with me, I'm there to counsel you and hopefully you and your family take the most successful decision in the purchase that you're going to make. That's what I'm shooting for. Want you to be happy and be successful, and then hopefully we can find the right home or multifamily unit for you. How long does it take? It depends. Sometimes it's real quick. Sometimes it takes up to a year to find that perfect property for buyers. But I'm never going to push something on somebody. Yeah. I'll coach you. I'll counsel you. It's up to you to make the decision. It's always up to the buyers. I'm never going to push that home on anybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's about making sure that it makes sense to the client, giving our professional opinion. But at the end of the day, we work for the client. We make sure that they're getting taken care of. And it's just one client at a time, man.
That's right.
One client at a time, making that difference. And
that's right.
That's why I wouldn't change this for the world.
No.
I really wouldn't.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Keep it like it is. Keep it real.
Boom. Good stuff, man. Bang.